All right, what is going on, everybody? My name is Peter Del Tondo, and I am your host this week for the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenges, and we'll be going next week too. So about me, I am a design director over at Unfold. You guys can check them out on my profile here on Behance as well, and I'm a product designer, so I love jumping into stuff like this, working on cool designs that we really get to solve some complicated problems on. And just like today, we're going to be doing some cool stuff with prototyping. So we are going to be building out a calculator app inside of Adobe XD and showing how those sequence of events get strung together to create something really cool. So I love chat. Thank you, Andrew. The emojis are always a great way to start off. I see a lot of familiar faces. We've got Vanessa, Camilla, Nick, Jasmine. Thank you all for tuning in today. Really appreciate you all being here and excited for you all to learn some new stuff. Up as well today, you just came in from Andrew and Claudie. We are going to be up next with Kyle T. Webster for Draw Along. So make sure you jump in on that. That's going to be a ton of fun. As well as Voodoo Val, and Andrew is back again as Chun-Li. By far, we've got to find a highlight reel of that online. When he jumped out on stage at Creative South in the Chun-Li costume, I lost it. That was fantastic. And Julia, thanks for tuning in too. Make sure you guys, if you didn't already check out Julia's segment this morning, she's always fantastic to watch here on Adobe Live too. And lastly, if you are not yet in the Discord as we switch scenes, make sure that you go and sign up. It's really important that you guys do that. Reason being is that every night, let's come back over to my screen. Every night, I'll be streaming somewhere between about 7 to 8 p.m. start time, Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to be doing a live stream on Behance, so make sure you go follow my Behance page, behance.net/Peter Del Tondo. You'll get a notification when I go live, and we're going to be doing reviews for about an hour or so of your guys' challenges. So I love doing it that way. It gives you more feedback, more information. And if you're there and you're live and you are in chat, let me know and we'll hop into a channel together and talk it out and like go over your project. So make sure you take advantage of those opportunities with myself and the other mentors. We love getting to pour back into you guys and help these projects become even better. And yes, Camilla, your project is excellent. I was already going to mention that, but I'm so happy you're in the channel because this is looking great. I'm super excited. We're going to dive into your project tonight. We won't do that quite yet, but I'm really excited to see what you guys are building because it's awesome. Lastly, if you have not yet signed up for these challenges, make sure you go to behance.net/challenge/XD. That'll also give you the link to the Discord channel, as well as the starter files for each day. And I'm going to take a breath and we're going to chill because today, this is nice and simple. I'm not worried about what we're going to get through in the next 25 minutes. I know some of these challenges are jam-packed. Today is going to be a little bit more chill and really simple. So for those of you that are especially just starting out in XD, this is a really easy design challenge, and it's going to lay out a lot of the fundamentals for some of the other things that we're going to do in future challenges as well. So without further ado, let's jump in. You didn't see that. You didn't see that part. We're not there yet. All right. So day 3 here. Today we are going to design and prototype a calculator app and perform a simple math equation. So with this, we're going to use things like repeat grid and components to speed up the design process. And we'll show you guys just how quickly and easily you can do that. And I haven't gone over this yet, but keep score with yourself as you're working on these. Try things like different easing mechanics, that 8-pixel grid, share your link, etc. And see what you score throughout these challenges. Go for a little bit more. Additionally here, I always throw down some inspiration, and this is stuff that we put together when we create these challenges. And so I just want to give you guys some, ideas and things to look at, some interesting designs that I was able to find for calculator apps. I would encourage you today, maybe don't limit yourself to a mobile phone application. I've tried to just set up a lot of the challenges this week and next to actually not be for mobile. I think the last 2 days were, but most of the remaining will be desktop or something else. So, expand out, give yourself a little bit more room to create things. It doesn't have to be constrained to that mobile device. So today we're going to build this out for a desktop application. Gives us a lot more freedom to do various things. So, check these out, see what kind of text and symbols and setups that you want. You could do a really complex calculator, or like today, something really simple. And simple is good because I think, as Cornell is saying, generally speaking, we try to set these up to where it should take you about 15 minutes to an hour to complete these challenges. I promise you guys will get more efficient the more you do this, the more you follow along. And so it should be something that just kind of is a good wake-up exercise each day. All right, so let's jump into stuff. Again, you didn't see things. So what we're going to create is we need to do a simple grid. We want to lay out some numbers. And I want to have a couple of different styles. So what I might do is I might come over here and I'm just going to grab this element here. I'll just make sure everything's nice and centered. And then what I want to do is I'm going to group this, and I'll bring it over here on the side just so it's a little easier to see on that background. Actually, let's move it here. I'm going to set this dark ground just to black. All right. So now what I want to do is I'm going to hit repeat grid, and literally all I did was create a shape, a rectangle in the back with the number in the middle of it. And I can now quickly start replicating this. And so I believe I'm going to want 3 of these, and we're going to want to come down a little bit here as well. I think maybe like 4 rows. And what's really great about this, and it makes it so easy to use, is I can click on these bars in between. And when I do that, it's going to allow me to pull these items in and space them where I want. So I'm just going to pull this in kind of nice and tight to about 2 pixels. And I'll come in here. I'm just going to grab this text. I'm going to put it over on this side. We'll make that white. And once again, I'm going to group that element. I'll bring this over here. Just because I'm particular, we're going to space that out right. And I'll hit repeat grid one more time. And now real quick, I'm able to create these different items. And now I can even do some more interesting things. So let's talk about components a little bit. So maybe what I want to do, I'm going to ungroup this, and I'm actually going to delete this. And I'm going to come over to this component. Whoops. I'm going to come over to this group, and I'm going to set this up as a component. And so what I might do is just say like keypad. And I can come over here and I will make this a component. And we just have that keypad. Now what I want to do is I want to create different states. And so I can add a new state, maybe something like a hover. So maybe I want my hover state. I'll pull in a little bit of a purple color, just something kind of gentle. Maybe something like that. Cool. And I'm going to duplicate that just so we can see it. I'm going to duplicate this one more time just so I can see what the default state looks like. But now I want to start adding more states. So maybe I do things like, I don't know what the right terminology for would be here if I open up like my calculator here, but like what these items are. So for the moment, I'm going to call them symbols. I probably should have looked up what the technical name for that is. But let's just call that symbols over here. And in this one, maybe what I want to do is I want to pull that over more into the purple zone, and we will reverse the text to be white. And so now what I'm able to do is through this one component, I'm able to quickly cycle through my different states. And so if I zoom back out, I could come back over here. I'm going to move this item. I'm going to turn back on repeat grid. I can set all those items how I want. And now I can come in here and be like, you know what, over here, these are going to be all my symbols. And just real quick, I'm able to easily go and do that. And one of the things that is really smart, and this is where, again, this is kind of a separate discussion of design systems and atomic design or atomic design structure, is where if I want to make a change, I can come over here now, and I should. Oh, I need to set it up as a color symbol, but I should be able to change what the state looks like, and then it should update everywhere. So things like that are going to be really handy to do and set it up so that it's used one time. And again, I should have set that up with a color symbol. But by doing it that way, it's going to make that replication really simple, because if I decide later to change that color, that's going to update everywhere in my design. It's going to make things really simple and straightforward. So a couple other things that I might do, and I've got a couple of these components kind of here ready to go, is I'm going to pull this over. I've got these items here. And I might set something up like a little bar at the top. So again, I've got some of this pre-built. We're going to skip ahead and see what that looks like and how exactly we built this in order to come to these items here. So let's skip on over, and we can see what we have in this design. So what I want to do is I want to prototype out the sequence of events here that are going to come and take me from a screen where I start with nothing. I type the number 8. That's going to show me 8 plus. Then I hit 7, and that takes me to 15. Something really simple. I probably should have intentionally done the math wrong here, but missed opportunities. And Cornell, really glad you get to participate and learn how to design while doing these challenges. Thank you. Like we love hearing this. I love seeing the success stories of people that have landed new jobs because of the challenges that they've gotten to do here. It's really powerful and it means a lot, and I'm honored to be a part of that and to help you all learn and grow. So thank you guys for tuning in, and appreciate you. Okay, so what I'm going to do next, now that I've set this up, is I'm going to come in here into my prototype mode, and I'm really quickly just going to link this over to the next screen. Now, there's a couple of different interactions that I may want to do or tweak with to make some of these seem a little bit quicker or feel most realistic. And this is where you'll want to take some time and experiment with what the various easing effects are and animation, and is this somewhere where you use auto animate, or is it something that you just want like quick cuts? And I think for something like this, that kind of instantaneous gratification of selecting something is what's going to feel most real. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to remove this dissolve, or I don't want any slides. I just want it to go none. I want it to snap to what I want to go to. So I'm going to move this over and transition to this screen. Then I want to come over here, and on my next screen, I'm going to set this up to be, I believe, a time trigger. So let's see here. We are going to set this up, and let's see, we've got 8. I want to bring this. Oh, that's just to go back at all times. I'm going to move this over to here. And this, we're just going to do time. And so I might set this up really small, and or I'm going to go from this to, the plus. So what I want to do, let's go back. We'll go 8, then plus. We'll move this over here. And so once again, I'm going to go with this. We'll do a tap, a transition. And one thing that's really cool to note here, and I like forget about this at times, is that Adobe XD and the Adobe Sensei team, which is like the AI that backs all of this stuff, it's able to sense and recognize what the last item that you did was, or the last interaction, and then automatically apply those styles going forward. So in this case, as you remember, I had to change from dissolve to none, but it remembered that the last interaction I added, I selected none. And so it's making that smart choice in selection to say, that's probably what you want to do again. And it's just something that it's a small detail, but it saves you time from not needing to do that again and again. So really cool that we can do that. We'll have that move over. And so we are going to go here. We've now got that 8 plus. So when we come to this screen, we're going to set it up, and I'm going to grab the 7. And we will set that up here. Once again, tap, transition, none, keep it really simple. And, play with different things as you guys see fit for all the different kinds of interactions that you might be prototyping. They're going to use different items at different times to give the best and most realistic effect. Sometimes you want that slide up, slide down. Sometimes, like yesterday, you want to hide items on a previous screen, lower the opacity to 0, so that way when you do reveal it, auto animate detects the change in position and the change in opacity and creates what would generally be things that we could only do in After Effects back in the day, can now easily do here in Adobe XD, which is just super, super cool. So cool. I think we've got this. We've got our back screen, which will always return us. Let's take a look if there's anything else that I would like to add to this. I think one thing is hover states. So, this is where I may come in here. I'll just temporarily create a new item. And in this, let's go back into design mode. I want to create that hover state. And so maybe that hover is going to use, let's see, I kind of like this color. Maybe, no, let's keep it. We'll just keep it simple for now. I dig that. All right, so we know we're going to be there when we get to this screen as well. Let's see, we've got the 8 plus. We could do a hover for this too. So let's do that. Let's create this item as another component. We'll do plus. Let's create a hover for that. And maybe we'll just go a little bit darker there. Let's keep it in the purple. Okay. Do something like that. And again, I'm doing this a little bit hacky, but we'll keep this going. We've got our 7. Let's create a hover state for that. This is where I should have set it up as a component. That way, again, it shares the same stuff everywhere. But let's set up that hover state. Hover. And fill. We'll do this as well. And here, let's grab this one. Let's create that as a component, the equal hover state. And here, let's darken this up to this one too. All right, really easy peasy. So let's just come in here. I'm going to go back to default states on all of these, but they are set up so that way we will recognize that hover. All right, so let's recap. We're going to go from screen to screen. What we're doing is we're also setting up each intermediary screen. And so this is where we can't just go 8 and then go to 8 plus. We need to set this up. So you need to think about that as you break things apart, is what are the different micro interactions and steps that you need to accomplish to get to your end goal. So we want to do this sequence of adding a couple of numbers, which is going to get us to 15. You guys can go as complex as you would like in these. And Cornell, I agree. I would love to see time transitions and animations for components and artboards. That would be awesome if the XD team is working on something like that. If you guys have features that you are looking for and would make amazing assets to your workflow and whatnot, make sure you guys check out the user voice forums for Adobe XD. Maybe we can get that posted in chat here as well. That is an amazing place to go in, let the team know of maybe any bugs that could be happening, any features that you're really looking for. And there is a team of people dedicated just to reading all of those, and I've been in the office, and you talk to these people, and like they know what these things are and what you guys are looking for. So there is a team that is behind this that truly cares about all the stuff that you're looking for in this product. Make sure that you let them know, because if they don't know about it, how can they build it? So make sure that you guys participate in that. And Omar, yes, all of this can be done through one component. You can set up as many states and steps as you would like within that. So, we could, since we have time, we could create something like this. And let's just say this is a button of text. Let me delete this. I'll just type in, I can spell button. All right. And what's cool is that now I can take this and I could, let me make sure this is named something different, button. And if I go back and I add this as a component, I could now create a hover state for my button. So maybe in this, it darkens up. Then I could come in here, I can add a state. Maybe I have disabled. And I can set my disabled state to be, maybe it's here in the gray. And I want my text to, be removed. Okay, then I can come in here and I could do, focused or pressed state. And, for each of these, like you guys are getting the gist of this, I can have all of this done through one component. And it's just so nice to be able to manage a design system in that way, because you're not dealing with, well, it might be nice to show them visually. You don't have to manage so many different components to showcase each of the different scenarios. You can do it all within one. So if you change it in one spot, it's going to change everywhere and stay nice and consistent. All right, so let's check this out as we come down to this now. What we're gonna do is, again, we can switch into prototype mode. We'll see all of the different interactions that this is able to do. So we've got our hover states. We see that that is active. We don't have to do anything for that. It's just recognizing the component and the interaction that should occur with that. And then we're gonna come in here. The add button is gonna move us into the next step. I'm going to hit 7. Important to remember the math that we use so we can click the right buttons. And then we're going to hit the equal sign, and that's going to get us to our result. So let's take a peek and see how this all looks. And let me I'll move up a little bit so we can see that better. Cool. So I have my calculator here. I want to jump in and start doing stuff. So as you can see, as I hover over the 8, it's showing me that hover state interaction, which obviously, again, this works on a desktop application. If you are designing your calculator app for mobile, you're not going to have a hover state because you can't do that. But you could do things like press states, etc. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to click on that. So I click my 8. That now, again, instantly shows, which if I pull up my calculator here, again, when I do this, same kind of things. I've got my hover state. I click it, it's instantaneous, it feels snappy, and that's kind of what we're going for and looking to replicate here. So I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna hover over and click my plus, come over here, we have the hover state once again for the 7, click that, and now we see different interactions, and maybe if we go back, let's see, 8 plus 7, we have that. So what we've done is we've also, just for a little visual hierarchy, we want this to be more in the forefront with the total sum rather than what the string of sequence is. So we've lightened the text here. And then let's see, we've got 8 plus 7. I'm going to hover over and click the equal sign, and we get 15. So this is really simple, and it's meant to be rudimentary today so that it's very easy to follow. But I hope you can see the power that you can do with this and what you can go and create. So, build out a calculator app today. I'm really curious to see what else you guys can do and apply these skills to in the future challenges, because even though we're building some of these out to be focusing on different aspects of XD, almost all of them are going to incorporate prototyping into the challenge itself. And so as we jump back over to the XD Discord, something that I'm going to really encourage all of you to do is don't just I'm gonna pick on Camilla here for a second because her design is fantastic, but I would love to see you guys re-upload or just upload the first time your projects so that it's either an animated GIF file, a movie file, or a link to the actual prototype itself or your Behance page where we can see those interactions, because I would love to see how you are treating this file and what you make this feel like. Like you could do some really slick animations going from new to popular, or as this play button comes in and I select something, what does that transition look like? That's what's also going to separate your design from just being something simple and really clean to a wow piece that is going to help you land that next project, that next client, or that next job. So I really, really encourage you to go the extra mile, prototype that out. You guys can see how quickly this is able to be done in XD. So don't feel like this is daunting. If you have questions, reach out to me, ask, come join me tonight on the stream. We'll go over some more stuff, again, somewhere between 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific time on my Behance page, and we'll go through that. Let me see if we have any questions here since we've got another minute. Omar, I made a time transition that cycles back and forth between two artboards, but then the components became disabled and I can't click any of them to navigate. If you would, shoot me over your file. I'll take a look at it for you and see if we can help out. And Michelle, thank you. I'm glad that these challenges are helping you and you guys are learning through this. And let's see, Deborah, yes, you can create a component for each symbol. You can also create a component that, as we come back to our file here, where this information can change too. So you could create one component, not for like 7, 8, 9, etc., but you could have one component, but just change the text within that. But it's going to adhere to the styles of it as well. So if you changed text color and background color, it will move along with you nicely. With that, I think we are going to get signed off. Everybody have a great day and we'll see you later.